Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard, King of Knights, Alfred, Royal Paladin deck profile for Post-Festival Booster 2025. Wanted to show off the newest deck from the latest Festival Booster series, being the Encounter deck for King of Knights Alfred. This deck focuses on the different Royal Paladins we can run in the deck, on top of being able to make use of the different original units with only Royal Paladin in their name for added effects and abilities in this deck, and focusing on many of the original abilities that the original King of Knight Alfred had for standard format. So very happy with the deck and the cards that can be run from it from the newest Festival Booster. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the ride deck, we have our energy generator with our starter being Wingall Brave. When rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Little Sage Marin. When it's rode upon by a grade 2 with Blaster and its card name, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to one grade 2 with Blaster and its card name from among them. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. If you not reveal a card, choose a Wingall Brave from your soul, and you may call it to rearguard. So regardless of the fact you will get a rearguard or a unit thanks to Marin, if you don't reveal a Blaster Blade off of this card, you'll at least be able to call out your Wingall Brave to the rearguard circle, which you want to place in the back row center rearguard, since your Vanguard Alfred won't be able to be boosted. Our grade 2 is Blaster Blade. When placed on Vanguard, counterblast 1. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. If you did not retire, draw a card. So draw power if your opponent hasn't set up any rearguards early game for you to retire with your grade 2 Vanguard. And our grade 3 is the King of Knights Alfred himself, which along with the copy we are running in the ride deck, we want to run 3 additional copies in the main deck as well. On the Vanguard circle, during your turn, this unit cannot be boosted, and if your soul has a Blaster Blade, this unit gets plus 2,000 for each of your rear guards. If it gets plus 8,000 or more, and your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, it gets critical plus 1. And on the Vanguard, once per turn, you get Energy Blast 3. Search your deck for up to one grade 3 or less card with only Royal Paladin for its clan. Call it to rear guard and shuffle the deck. Choose one of that unit's auto abilities until the end of turn. Reduce the next counterblast you play for that ability by 1. So the best call, obviously, for this is to call out Blaster Blade to the rearguard circle, and then have a free retire ability with its rearguard place ability to use. And on the Vanguard circle, once per turn, when this unit attacks, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your rearguards with only Royal Paladin for its clan, and stand it. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose 2 of your rearguards instead of 1. So just being able to have the option to choose 2 of your rearguards gives you the added boost with this card to be able to have restand power for your other rearguards as well. One of the best rearguards to restand is one of the new ones from the set, and that is the Brilliant Wings Star Dragon Vergilla. We're running 3 copies of Fosato for placeholders for this card, just as we were running the Majesty Lord Blaster placeholder for King of Knights Alfred. But with this card, you definitely want to run it as a 4 of. This card's regarded as Soul Saver Dragon. On rearguard during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Alfred in its card name, this unit gets plus 5,000. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, it gets all the following. On the front row rearguard at the beginning of your battle phase, counterblast 1, choose 3 of your units, and they get plus 5 till end of turn. If you Persona Road this turn, choose all of your units instead of 3. And on the rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, if this unit stood by your Vanguard's ability with this card and no drive checks were performed for the battles of your rearguards that attack this turn, counterblast 1, King of Knights Alfred, and until the end of that battle, this unit's drive becomes 1 and it performs drive checks. So this card is also a Royal Paladin, as you can see at the bottom of the card. So it can also be chosen with Alfred's ability to be called out, and then have the auto ability for this card also be reduced for its counterblast, also making it a free front row plus 5 for all of your units if it was called off of Alfred. For the grade 2s, we're running 3 additional copies of Blaster Blade just to have additional targets to call out to our rearguard circle with our Vanguard. When it's placed on the rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater rearguards, and retire it. So then you even have additional retire power later on during the game when you call out Blaster Blade. And once again, a free retire, since you will reduce the counterblast for this card as well, thanks to Alfred. Other grade 2s include the 4 copies of Sage of Heavenly Rainbow Louveron, which we want to run 4 copies as well. When it's placed on rearguard from hand, other than by a unit's card ability, or discard from hand while riding from the ride deck, choose a card with Persona Ride from your ride deck. You may reveal it. If you revealed a card or have a Vanguard with Persona Ride, which is Alfred, you Soul Blast 1 and put a Persona Shield ticket into your hand. So the Persona Shield ticket just adds more of a protection for your units in the deck. And when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, it gets plus 5 to end of battle. So just a good generic grade 3 to rely on more more defensive capabilities in the deck. And for more of the draw power options, 3 copies of Divine Sister Biscotti for the same energy blast usage to discard and draw when this card is discarded or placed on the guard circle, being able to counter blast 1 or energy blast 1 to, or energy blast 3, not 1, to then draw a card. And then the other grade 2s include 2 copies of Knight of Piercing Cadwalla with a Soul Blast to retire this unit. To look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 or greater unit from among them, reveal it, put in your hand, and shuffle the deck. If you do not reveal a card, you draw a card. But search power for a wide variety of the units that we run in the deck. On top of this, at the end of the battle, this unit attack to Vanguard to then have 4 more units, which most likely you will, thanks to your setup to then be able to have more search power to be able to make use of. For the grade 1s, 4 copies of Sergon. When this unit boosts, if you have more rear guards than your opponent or you play it in order this turn, this unit gets +5 till the end of that battle. At the end of the battle, retire this unit, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it in the hand, put the rest on the bottom of the deck. More search power for cards you may want to add to your hand. Thanks to Sergon, it's just a good generic staple to run in the deck as well. I thought of running Kay and Bedivere, the grade 1 and 2 combo being Royal Paladin cards only to run the deck. If you wanted to try these cards, you could drop the Sergons for Kays and then the Biscottis and the Cadwallas for additional copies of Bedivere. For the additional grade 1s, 3 copies of Battle Sister Coco. It is a Oracle Think Tank unit, but it still has great search power in the deck. If you have a Vanguard with only 1 clan and your G-Zone has no cards, this card gets all the following. When it's placed on rear guard, you put a card from your hand to the soul. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, and put 1 into hand. Put the rest on the top of the deck into your soul, or on top of the deck. And if you put a card into the soul by this effect, this unit gets +5 to end of turn. So not only could this potentially set up Alfred in the soul all the faster for you, it also has the on rear guard and guard circle. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, and your opponent's drive check, a damage check revealed to trigger you this turn, it gets +10 attack and +10 shield. So added defense and power on the rear guard circle as well. But just for a soul buildup, depending on what we want to run in the deck also. We're also running 2 copies of Little Sage Marin additionally in the deck to have grade 1 search targets for Alfred as well, because during your turn, if you have 3 or more units, it gets +2000 on the rear guard circle. So it's not without ability on the rear guard circle as well, with the other grade 1s being the 1 copy of Yellow Jewel Beast Topaz for the recycle power of our ride deck units to then be able to have additional shield power or units to call out from the deck also, and the 4 copies of Aegis Mare Dragon. If you wanted to run the Elementaria Sanctitude in this spot, you could always put it in for 1 copy of the Sentinel, and our Regalis piece for the deck is Bracing Angel Ladder, just for more soul buildup while also being able to have the option to protect our rear guards that we run in the deck as well. And then for the trigger lineup, we're going with the 7 critical. So the 4 Blade Feather Dragon, then the 3 Daring Knight Soel, just for the standard lineup for the criticals. For the next spot, we're running 2 draw and 2 fronts, trying out this lineup in the deck to see how they run, just with the added pressure to the front row, and then the additional hand consistency to recover, with our heals being the 1 Tier Sorceress, the 1 Invigorate Sage, and the 2 copies of Circulating Sorceress for the heal spots. And our overtrigger being a Martinoa. You have the rear guard drive check option with our Soul Saver Dragon, but then the additional option with other rear guards to also be able to provide this drive check boost. If you want to run Idos Faro or Valnut, you can always try out them in this spot as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy one of the more funner decks from the Festival Booster for sure. Alfred's always been a favorite of mine for the Royal Paladin units as well, so definitely happy to finally see it in standard format also. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.